guys, so it is actually now Thursday afternoon. As you can see, it's light out, and I didn't get anything else done to the motor, but now the whole bottom end's back together like I just did in the last video. And the reason why I couldn't put the heads on or anything is because I did not have a torque wrench. So I grabbed the good old digital Snap-on one from work, and now I can put my head gaskets on, set the heads on it, and get the new head bolts and all that torqued down to spec. And then I can start putting the rods and rockers and all that in there. And then you set the valve covers on, or even bolt them down or whatever. I'm just going to set them on for now because I still want to paint the valve covers white. But I'm just going to set them on there for now, and then I can paint the whole block and everything. I don't really want to paint the heads just because they're like brand new, but I can paint everything else a nice aluminum looking paint, so like a silver, and then finish it tomorrow night or something. So I'm gonna get started on that. All right guys, so I got the heads all set on, and I actually already went ahead and torqued this side down. So now I just have this one left to tighten, and then the heads are on for good. And guys, when I started putting the heads on, I did this one first, and I'm actually glad I started with this side, but that threw the motor off a lot. That's a lot of weight to add to this side, so it wanted to tip over. Luckily I caught it, and luckily it was this side, so I was able to put something underneath the oil filter there to hold it up. And then I set this side on, and it seems good now. But guys, torquing these head bolts down, that is a workout. So the 10 main bolts, the 15 millimeters, you want to torque first to 22, and then you want to do 90 degrees and then 70 degrees. And well, I don't got the motor in the truck to help me, so I gotta hold it up with my knee and then just muscle it out and get them torqued. And then these little 10 millimeters torqued to 22 foot-pounds, in case any of you guys are wondering. Basically, for the heads, that's the only time I actually torque them to spec, because, well, no one wants to blow a head gasket. That's no fun. So I usually don't use torque specs for anything else, but I mean, like, if I was doing like the whole bottom end, like obviously I'd torque down like the rod caps and the cam, the main bearings, so crank main bearings, so that stuff, or like the cam bolt or whatever. But it's all good. It's gonna do fine. So still got to torque this side down, and then I can probably just set the valve covers on top, and then clean up the block a little bit. As you can see, it's a little rough, and then I can probably honestly just get rid of this chain for now. Well, and then I'm gonna have to lift it for when I paint it. But yeah, so I think, I don't know, because I don't want to paint the head, but like also, like, I don't know, it would be nice to just run a tape line across there, and then I could whiz wheel this off so it's still clean to seal to. I might do that. I might just do that, but I'm not 100% sure yet. But I'm definitely painting it tonight, and then I'm just gonna scuff up, like, obviously where it was leaking before, where it's all greasy, and then just go over it real quick, and then just shoot it, and should do just fine. So I'm gonna get this side torqued down now and show you guys that. All right guys, so as you just saw, I got this other head all torqued down. So now the heads are fully on there and good to go. Same with the valley cover. And I mean, I guess I still gotta cover up the front here, but I could probably shove a rag in there, and then like maybe even just tape it off, actually, because it's not like you're gonna see the timing cover at all once everything's put on. So that don't really matter at all. But I'm hoping I can just kind of set my valve covers on top. Even though, I mean, I'm sure I could find the bolts real quick actually, and just kind of like set them on there, and then scuff up the block real quick. I'll tape off the water jacket ports right there, and just make sure everything's covered up, and then scuff it real quick, and then it'll be ready to be painted. So I'm gonna start doing that now. All right, guys, so I ended up putting this sensor in, and then I also got the bolt in for this sensor, so all that's good. And then I found one of the studs that I believe went there. I don't know, because I got this bag labeled sensors and brackets and stuff. Like, this was basically everything that unbolted from the motor, but I realized I don't have the brackets. So yeah, I'm gonna have to look back and try and find some pictures on how that all went. But I think I'm going to put the water pump on it too, just to cover up the holes and everything, and then that would kind of make it easier, so I don't have to worry about getting stuff in there and trying to tape it off and stuff. And then that way the water pump can kind of match too. But I'm gonna see how the water pump looks first. But if it kind of looks like this, I don't know. Let's just go see how the water pump looks. All right, guys, so here is the water pump, and yeah, that let's see, that's gonna go on there, something like that. So yeah, I'm just gonna paint it without it on there, just because I think that this looks really good the way it is, and I don't want to get any paint on anything else. And then try and paint my pulleys black and have that looking all good and stuff. But yeah, I gotta get everything for the motor painted tonight, so then tomorrow night I can for sure have it all back together, and then maybe even put it in tomorrow night, guys. But tonight I for sure gotta paint everything for the motor. Try and get the headers painted. I got one over here that's all prepped. I still gotta do the other one, and then obviously prep the block and paint that, and then like this alternator bracket, and then maybe the condenser. Paint the crank pulley black, paint the valve covers white, and paint this tray silver. Probably paint that silver. And then it's just my starter. Oh, here's some of the brackets actually. Another idler. So yeah, most of it will be fine, but I just basically want to paint all the brackets and for sure the crank pulley, and then it'll all look really clean and new again. So that is the plan for that. I'm probably not going to even paint these brackets, but just try and clean them up a bit, and then they'll be good to go. But I gotta start out with painting the motor, so I gotta try and keep the valve covers on there. And once the motor's painted, pop the valve covers off, paint the valve covers white, and then like I said, that bracket, paint that silver, the pulley, paint that black, paint the headers. And then once all that's done, set all that aside or just outside, because I mean, I'm sure whatever I use to paint, I'm sure it's gonna dry really quick, like 30 minutes or so. And then I gotta roll the cab out, the wheeler out. Well, I obviously put the other wheel on it for my brother, and then roll my chassis out. And then I want to start painting all of my blue parts over there, as you can see in the totes and stuff, and get all that painted tonight. And then everything will be painted besides my body, basically. Yeah, that should be literally like everything besides my body panels and stuff. So if I can get all that done tonight, that would be so awesome. And then I can spend like all night tomorrow and like Saturday morning and whatnot, getting everything put back on there. So for sure tomorrow night, if I can get all this painting done, I'll try and get the motor all built back up and hook the transmission up to it and try and get that installed. And then I'll have that plate all painted up then. And then I can actually bolt the transmission down in there, and then add the transfer case, the rear drive shaft, finish off the brakes, and then start working on the fuel system and stuff like that. And then you know, the front core support too, and yeah, basically just be able to start finishing up the whole chassis. And guys, actually the funny thing is, my dad told me today, he's like, yeah, it's going to take you at least like another week to finish that chassis. And you won't even hardly have time to get the cab on it, because I got to have it done by the end of the month, and it's the 22nd today. So I got, well, a week from tomorrow actually. So yeah, he's really doubting me. So I'm going to step it up tonight, hopefully get all this stuff painted, and then we'll really be looking good. I'm gonna put in a long weekend to make sure that this is done, and then we can start prepping the cab. And I'm actually getting new OEM fenders tomorrow, so that's awesome. That's gonna, you know, be a real nice feature to the truck. Oh yeah, that's right. I still gotta fix the door. I forgot about that. That's the one nick in the cab that I do gotta fix. But once I have the fenders, then when I paint underneath the cab and the whole firewall, I can paint the inside of the fenders and whatever. So then the whole engine bay and underneath will be done. And then I'm just gonna try and get everything besides a new box for now. So I'm gonna have to be rolling with the old box for a little bit, but you know, I gotta save up, you know, a little bit more funds, because I'm definitely running low on this thing, because I mean, it's almost to the point where, like, you know, what haven't I replaced? But yeah, so I'm gonna get everything done, well, besides wheels and a new box, basically. Well, there's other things, there's always more, you know, sound system, track bars, all that stuff, but to make it like, you know, a really nice drivable truck, just wheels in a box. But I mean, I do have really nice wheels for it, but once the lift's in, it's gonna look small. So there, that's the plan there. But anyways, I'm gonna get to prepping the motor here.